Welcome, everyone. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 963. Tonight, going to talk about scan to email again, but something that I discovered that was just, boy, it was brutal in getting to log into the printer. We're going to talk about Rufus, and there's a reason. I have a long email thread between a listener and myself, and I'm going to talk about that. It's going to be the Microsoft Windows 11 25H2. And we went back and forth. I got a great email on mail merge. Batch file utilities, Outlook alternatives, and then two sites that I'm going to have listed. A book that's coming, Apple, the first 50 years, and a website that I love that I discovered called DOS Days. So before we get started, I want to, let me bring this up. I want to talk about Instant House Call. You can still check out the incredible deal from Instant House Call by just going to my website, MikeNation.net, click on the orange link, and you can get ready to switch. Whoever you're using, if you are an MSP or an IT professional, this is what you want for switching to remote access for the first year, only $47. And you hear me talk about it every week. It's unlimited, unattended endpoints. You can have 10 concurrent connections. It's fully white labeled. You can have your own desktop icon, installer, colors in your name. There's auto PC repair, which is D7X, already built in. No pins or codes for clients. Session analytics. Customers can start sessions without calling you first. And time window sessions. Let clients open a support window that connects when you're ready. This is what you need. Go to MikeNation.net, check out Instant House Call, and you will be happy. All right. I have, as you can see, so much to talk about. But first, I want to cover, just go over a few admin things. So last week, I couldn't do the show on Thursday because my wife and my oldest son were arriving. Now, my wife's staying down here, but Michael Jr. already went back on Tuesday, but he was down here to see the Eagles game with me. So we went out to dinner Thursday night. We had plans, and Friday. So I just didn't want to burden having the show to do while they're down here because, he's only here for a few days. So Sunday, we went to the Eagles versus Buccaneers, and it started at 1 o'clock, and we knew it was going to be hot. We were ready. I mean, I had the suntan lotion, everything going. It was brutal. It was beyond brutal. It was over 103 degrees in the stadium. They reported that down on the field, it was 118. It was so bad that I couldn't take any more. I went like a little beyond halfway through the second quarter, and I had to go down to the concourse. And it was when you buy water, you got to buy two. One to drink and one to pour over your head. It was so bad. I was sweating so bad, and I was drinking a lot of water, but it wasn't enough. And I stayed out there for the whole halftime and third quarter under an umbrella on a picnic table that, because I got there before the halftime, and they were, there was, of course, a lot of people, but a lot of people weren't heading back in there into their seats it was so hot. And medical people constantly going back and forth with stretchers. I mean, people were passing out. It was too hot. And I'll never do that again in the summer, because September is summer down here, and not outside like that. Body couldn't take it. And after the third quarter, I had to head back to my car and turn on the AC and just listen to the fourth quarter. It was so bad, I got sick on the way back to the car. And I mean, real sick. That's how hot it was. My son made it a little bit after that, him and his friend, because he couldn't take it anymore. And our bodies were literally shutting down. I had definitely overheated. And it took an hour for me to be able to have the faculties to be able to drive. I mean, it was painful. Yes, the Eagles won, but man, I would never do that again. Anyway, now, why am I wearing my Phillies hat? But this is my postseason 2025 hat. The Phillies secured a bye in the first round, and the playoffs are happening. So the first game is Saturday. So this brings up, now they're going to be facing the Dodgers, and there's going to be the best out of 5. If the Phillies don't clinch, best out of 3. If there's a fourth game, that's next Thursday. So here's what I want to do. I normally start the show at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I am going to start the show at 6 p.m. Eastern Time next week. That would be October 9th, because not only are the Phillies playing, but the Eagles are playing Thursday Night Football, and the Flyers are playing. So I have all 3 of my home teams that I want to watch, and I think I can wrap up because I think everything starts at like 8:30. So I figured, let me pre-schedule this now. I have to share this little story. So my son drove down with my wife, but flew back via Frontier Airlines, where you could save a lot of money. And Frontier offered him a couple days before he's going to fly the ability to upgrade to a seat with more room. Because I think the first few rows, and I want everybody to be aware of this because I've never heard of this. You can upgrade and there's no middle seat. So, it's not first class, but it's almost like it. You don't have middle seat. You get a little room. Sounds good. So how much is it? Well, you have to bid. I've never heard anything like it. And he didn't win the bid. And the bid, I think, was $40 to $150 for that upgrade. And we said, well, you don't bid the lowest. So he bid $59. We had him, and he didn't win. Could you imagine? It's now an auction. You're bidding for your upgrade, and they'll take the highest bidder. Tell me you've heard of this. I've never heard of this happening. And wow. And just, this is what we're headed for. So, all right. Now to the tech stories. New client that I'm helping for another MSP down here. It was my first visit, and I had to set up Office for her, the activation. And this weekend, I'm going to be doing a migration of their Synology NAS to SharePoint. Now, I had to fix their HP scan to email using Gmail. Okay? And they changed the password of that Gmail account and everything stopped working. Here's one person tried to get in to change the password. No joy. They couldn't get in. This printer, when you go to the website's IP address, the local IP, it asks for a PIN. And I was like, where's the PIN? Well, I Googled the PIN. You have to open the tray and pull out where you would normally put the color cartridges in for the toner. And in the front, very small, and they even recommend this, you need to take your camera and take a picture of it. It is so small print, and it's in an odd color that you couldn't even read it. I got close. I had my phone light. I had to take a picture and then open it up and zoom into the picture just to get the PIN. And that's the admin access to the printer. Once we did that and I updated the password, didn't work. because it had that password for so long, it was kind of grandfathered doing scan to email. I had to set up, make sure two-factor authentication on the going online on Gmail, and then had to get a third party apps. And you got to go to security and you got to search. You can't find this without searching for it. And then you're able to get the app's password, and you literally have to type that in the search. Now I created an HP scan, and I was able to get that code, the password, and you take the spaces out, and then I made sure to save that, and everything worked. So I also had to do that for Outlook to get it going. See, sometimes, I'll tell you, it's been a mystery. Sometimes I don't have to do that for Gmail in Outlook. Sometimes I do. I wish they would be consistent anyway. So that's, I needed to share that. 2 links that I am going to be putting in the show notes. One is Rufus, and I want to demonstrate, and this is to make the media for Windows 11, but with the bypass. Now, remember when I talked about this a few weeks ago, there was software that we were talking about that I paid $29 for. Well, let me open this up, and here we go. Rufus is a free program where you can make a bootable USB. But guess what they've added? Hold on, wait till you see this. Remove requirements for the 4 gig of RAM, secure boot, and TPM. You can remove requirements for an online Microsoft account, disable data collection, skip privacy questions, and then you can check if you want, set a local account using the same name as the user, set regional options using the same values as the user. After you pick everything where you find the image that you want to put, it'll be Windows. Everything will be go. When you click start, after you pick the right USB drive letter, you will get the Windows user experience menu. I have not seen this with Rufus. It's been a while since I've used it. This was great, and I built a Windows USB bootable stick, but with the bypass, but with 25H2. It is out. And now we're going to incorporate email here a little bit, because this is where I want to bring up, hold on, all of the emails from Bob. Bob and I went back and forth for all of his emails. And let me start out. He was like, if you just can't wait, you may already have gotten this, but Windows Central released the official Windows 11 25H2 3 days ago in 38 languages. So I have the link, and I figured, hey, this is great. I'll use Rufus, and I will build a USB stick with 25H2. This was the official release to manufacturing, ISO, and upgrade, because here was my goal. We started a conversation because he has a computer that he used the bypass, and he couldn't get 25H2 successfully installed. And we were wondering, did they put something in there to block it from upgrading? So the answer is no. So he did one system and it went without a hitch. The second one, it kept rolling back, and he gets the error. We couldn't install Windows 11. They give a whole boot, and it failed in the second boot phase with an error during boot operation. Clearly, there's something wrong on his system, and he tried everything. And we were going back and forth on all the things to try, and he could not get it going. He did the Rufus. That's how he booted, and he checked everything. He ran check disk. He ran SFC scan now. He ran DISM. So he went through everything, including, hey, were there incompatible or outdated drivers? He ran Driver Max. All the drivers are current. He installed successfully on 4 systems with this ISO. Antivirus, they say, disabling it for this error. He did that. Unplugged all external drives just in case. Did he have an outdated firmware? Make sure you have the latest, greatest firmware. He did everything, and he could not get 25H2. Now, here's what I did. I took my Surface Pro, which I described how I put Windows 11 by doing the bypass with that software I had used, and I successfully upgraded with no problem, no issues. So I was able to take a supposedly non-compliant Windows 11 system, and I successfully updated to 25H2. Now, remember last week I talked about the differences for 25H2 as it was coming. So I figured I would, share that. Now, Bob's final email on this thread: as of September 25th, 2025, users can bypass the requirement to sign in with a Microsoft account during installation by entering the MS-CXH : local only. And I believe you do that. I forget at what step, but you got to hit Shift F10 at a certain point during the install. And then you type that command, and then this allows for a local account creation, which is useful, for users who want that, who, obviously, and I have a lot of clients that I have to put a local account, and it's a lot easier to put a fake domain in if you're Windows 11 Pro, but it's very hard if you're Windows 11 Home. So that's a great tip for Windows 11 Home. Now, Bob, way before this, sent an email, and I want to finish with this, and then I'm going to get to the rest of the emails. I recently purchased a Lenovo ThinkPad to replace the old Dell XPS laptop I bought back in 2008. This old laptop had run Windows 7, Windows 10, and I even got it to run Windows 11, since Win 10 support is supposed to end next month, and I don't want to go through the rigmarole to extend it. I just bit the bullet, finally retired the old Dell. So now, as I'm writing up this new one, I wanted to be able to open my Office files. So I went back to one of your earlier episodes and found that free Office suite called Only Office that you were talking about, and downloaded it. I installed it on the laptop and was able to open all my Word, PowerPoint, and Excel files. It even opened PDF files. Since it does not come with Outlook client, I was looking for a solution. This is where I'm going to talk about alternatives to Microsoft Outlook. And he had a link that from make use of for taking a look at the different programs. And I'm going to give my 2 cents on this, and I'm going to demonstrate. So I have attached a link and was wondering if you have, or any of your listeners may have used any of these, and what your thoughts are and recommendations might be. I know there are more out there, but I figured I would start here. Yes, I have used Thunderbird and email, but I have not used Essential PIM and the EM client or MailSpring. At one point or another, I have tested all of them that you're talking about. But what let me go to my screen, and I'm going to have the link for downloading the latest Windows 11. And if you take a look now, when you download it, it is for 25H2. So they're now pushing that out there for when you create the media. So, which is great. Thunderbird. I have 2 clients that love, love, love Thunderbird. And it is easy to set up. You can even connect to an Exchange server, but it is probably the most full-featured email client that is. It's different than Outlook, but at least it has all of the different features that you want. And it has calendar, and it has contacts, it has notes. It makes you feel like a little bit like Outlook. I give a big thumbs up for this. I have another client, and I've talked about this, which is great, and it's EM client. I think he's a pool service client where he opens and closes pools and fixes pools and the heaters, and he swears by EM client. Once I introduced this to him, he just doesn't look back. He loves it. So I would look at these 2 as very, very strong contenders for replacing Outlook. Of course, go to the browser, Outlook Web Access, if it's an Exchange client, or go to the Gmail. I know there's some strange things on Gmail that you may have to kind of work with, that you have to get used to. Me, I'm not a web person for email. I need my client. I need my Outlook 365. I just live in it. Now, it's interesting. A few years ago, and some listeners may remember this, for my personal email, I tried to wean myself off Outlook, and I tried to live on Thunderbird, and I got to almost a full year before I went back to full Outlook, because 99.9% of my clients are Outlook. So I have to live in Outlook. It's like, even if I like Android over an iPhone, I got to have an iPhone because most of my clients live in an Apple ecosystem. So I have no choice. So I just needed to, mention, and I'm going to have those links for you so you can take a look at both of those options. And I think they're great. Okay. All right. This is from Karen, and this is a follow-up where she was doing the extension, that ESU for extending the security license of Windows 10. And she's writing, because this was the show where I talked about my AC problem. She says, I'm glad you were able to get your AC fixed. If you don't already have it, I highly suggest an annual maintenance contract. Karen, you are so correct, and that is exactly what I talked to them about. We have owned several homes in Florida, and we currently own a maintenance-free home in Venice. And you will get priority over non-maintenance customers. In all cases, when we have had issues, they have come out the same day. Yes, I was very, very fortunate, and they fixed it, and because it was definitely, the drain was clogged, and I actually, before they left, mentioned I want a maintenance contract, so this way every season, or once a year, if it twice a year, whenever they come out, they can check on all the components for both of my air conditioners, because I have the split mini that I don't use a lot right here. And what's interesting, and I'm going to continue with her email in a minute, I had to get a portable air conditioner for the front bedroom, because the front bedroom gets all the sun in the morning. There's no awning, and it just beats down on that room, and it gets very, very hot. Taz knows what I'm talking about when he stayed with me here. And my sons have complained, but it wasn't my sons. It was June of last year of 2025, of June, where my 2 grandsons came to me and said, Dad, because I'm Dad. And the other grandfather's Pop. So I'm Dad. And said, can you get air conditioning for the front room? Now, that bedroom does have air conditioning, but the vent just doesn't do it. It's just not, because there's central air for the whole house. So I bought a portable air conditioner for that room and have it going out the window. And it's now been used with two of my sons who give a thumbs up that they make it like a little freezer at night, which they want. All right. Now I'm going to continue with Karen's email. My husband started writing apps that worked with QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online. And I am an accountant, so I left my corporate job and worked with him and helping support the products and marketing. We retired in 2018 when we sold the business. Oh, congratulations. That is awesome. So we don't use our laptops that often, other than doing some banking, Zoom calls, etc. So I really don't want to go to all effort of buying new computers and setting them up. Completely understand. So I was able to get the Windows 10 ESU installed on 2 laptops, but I forgot about my husband's Microsoft Surface. I was able to download the latest Windows 10 update, but I cannot get it to install. I believe it is a space issue, as I read online. With 64, but install, you need 32 gigs of space for the install. And there's only like 20 gig available. I did go through the remove programs. We no longer use empty recycle bin and went into the settings. Yeah, the drive's just too small. Storage, and freed up some space. When I look at the storage usage, there is 42 gig in C users public documents. When I click in all the various folders, there is only a desktop ini file. So then I started looking for a disk cleanup tool, and I found Microsoft PC Manager, but I cannot get it to install because the Windows Store complains that I need to update to a supported version of Windows. The computer has the hibernate feature on, and I read that this can take up space. Do you recommend switching the feature off? Yes. Also, go into Control Panel and make sure you're showing hidden programs, and make sure you go to File and Folder Manager there and check all the boxes. Make sure you're seeing everything. And yes, turn off Hibernate and reboot. I do not like Hibernate. Any laptop we touch, we actually disable it. So I would rather someone go into sleep mode and close the lid, and we try to train people, don't even do that. We want you to shut it down. When you walk away from your laptop, we want you to turn it off and shut it down. So that's what I recommend. Now, to really find the space, download Tree Size, the free version of Tree Size. Just takes up a teeny little space. Run that and let it go through all the directories and truly see what is there. It will read it. And it'll ask you, after you start Tree Size, which is a free program, it'll ask you, and it's by JM Software. I use this all the time. And it'll ask you, do you want to start in administrator mode? And you say yes all the time. So you want that to run as an admin, and you will see what is eating up the space. That is the best tool that I could ever recommend. That is on my go-to USB stick. I have that on every system. So just wanted to, mention that. All right. Let me know. Hopefully that works for you. Space Sniffer is also good. Taz in the chat, thank you. So Space Sniffer. All right. Let's keep going. Email from Kate. So I heard you talking about your client struggling with mail merge on show 962. I was really good at mail merge back in the olden days when we used it through Word to create address labels. which we then affixed to envelopes and mailed, and also to populate fields and documents. I mean, I was really good at that. And about 25 minutes after I found out about MailChimp, I stopped doing all that and just shifted to MailChimp and did it all online. If your customer is trying to do a mail merge with Outlook, I'm thinking they're doing these mail outs online. Is there any reason why they have to use Outlook? No, he's just stubborn, Kate. And he's tried MailChimp once, but by the way, I talked him into MailChimp. Anyway, MailChimp, Constant Contact, etc. And I'll even add HubSpot. I have clients that use, are all so much easier to use. Once you set things up and import your mailing list addresses, you can mail everyone, a subset of everyone, a different subset of everyone. You basically write one thing, pick which distribution list you want it to go to, hit send, and you're away. You are only sending to one address, so no worries about your IP being blocked or blacklisted for spamming. No choking after a set of number of addresses, which is what would constantly happen in Outlook. You get stats on how many and sometimes even who is opening those emails. You get hard and soft bounce info so you can follow up. I ran my whole mailing list that way when I was doing a column. Yes, and I was one of your subscribers. And another announcement thing for my IRL customers. It took like 20 minutes instead of half a day. The one for my column was set up to see my RSS feed, grab it, and send an email to subscribers saying there was a new column up. My RSS was set up to include like the first 200 words of the column. It was dead easy, and everyone got a professional looking email with clickable links. Setting up the thing in the first place can be tricky and or tedious. You need to hire some kid to do this for you and a customer or two, and then you can resell the heck of it, the heck out of it. Make those stats into monthly reports for an extra fee, or get the kid to train someone at the customer how to deal with it. Most of these services offer different service levels, starting with free and increasing in price as the number of subscribers increased. Honestly, Mike, all the pain and suffering is on the front end where you have to set it up. After that, it just ticks along and spits out useful information as often as you need it to. You have to add or delete or change email addresses from time to time, but that is far less time consuming and nerve-wracking than doing a mail merge. If your customer is sending out mail now, maybe they would enjoy a way to track its reach and effectiveness. And there might already be someone in the company who can be tasked with maintaining and reporting. So hope that helps. Good luck to your Phillies. We're totally going to be back on track next year. That's from Kate. Kate, thank you. Kate's a huge St. Louis Cardinals fan. Yes, and I had that discussion with him. We successfully did a couple Outlook runs with very short numbers of his addresses. He has 4,000. He is trying to spam people. He's by himself, retired, looking at doing something else. And he looked into MailChimp, and I'm trying to get him back to MailChimp, literally because of your last paragraph, which was being able to track who opened it, who read it, who forwarded it to someone. I know those stats are tremendous use for one of our clients who lives in HubSpot. And that's exactly how he wants to manage any mailing to current clients, to potential clients, and he loves it and swears by it. Where I have to help is with the DNS entries. And that's all I care about. Getting involved in that mail merge was ugly, ugly, ugly. And so I understand. I thought this was good to share with everybody. Are you looking at doing something like that, or a client in doing a mail merge? So thank you, Kate, for that follow-up. This is from Bill, regular listener, and I like what he's done here. And I'm making a text file and I'm going to upload it. It is 2 batch files, and it's all the text you need for stopping the print spooler, then clearing that spool printer's folder, and then restarting the print spooler. This is a great little batch file. And then another one is to clear all the logs. That's another great one. So, Bill, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to make it a text file with both of these, and then you can make individual batch files. If you know what I'm talking about and you know how to do this, great. If you don't worry about it. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that I covered it. All right, 2 final links that I have to go over. And let's get back to, okay, David Pogue is the author, and it's coming out. It's not coming out till March 17th. Apple, the first 50 years. In time for Apple's 50th anniversary, CBS Sunday morning correspondent David Pogue tells the iconic company's entire life story, how it was born, nearly died, was born again under Steve Jobs, and became under CEO Tim Cook, and to become one of the most valuable companies in the world. I am absolutely pre-ordering this. It is going to be one of my must-reads, so I figured I wanted to share that when I came across that link. Here's the other one, DOS Days. Oh my. If you want to relive old PC computing and the resources, the hardware, the software, here's what I went to the software, and then I went to Borland, and oh man, it was just, remember Paradox by Borland? And all of their different languages for let's see, let's go to the software index. Even Quattro I started to use. Let me get back here. Let's go Borland. Display Write. I've used that. Lotus Manuscript. PFS Write. You know what? PFS Professional Write. I loved this program. This was my first simple go-to program. How about Harvard Graphics? Oh, you want to bring back memories, and I am really dating myself here. You got games, so the older games, articles. The hardware, though, this is very cool. The sound cards, the graphics cards. The reason why I focused on Borland, I was a huge Borland user. They were the first to have what they call TSR, which is terminal and stay resident, I think. And that was Sidekick, where you hit Control Alt and it popped up the Sidekick for terminate and stay resident, I think. I loved Sidekick and all of the different utilities. I was a big user of all the Borland software products, including their basic. Turbo Basic, I programmed in that a lot. Anyway, if you want to visit this for memories, it's literally dosdays.co.uk. And I'll have that in the show notes. I think that is very, very cool. So I wanted to make sure they were in there because I came across them a couple weeks ago. So, hey, congratulations to the Cubs. They defeated San Diego, so it's going to be Chicago against Milwaukee, and then the Phillies against the Dodgers. And the winners of those two will face each other. See who goes to the World Series. So, go Phillies as they play their first game on Saturday. I want to thank everybody for downloading and staying subscribed to the podcast. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can subscribe to my YouTube videos. I post up every show right after the show to YouTube, and it's youtube.com/MichaelSmithMTS. And don't forget to go to the main website for all the show notes. There's a donation button. Don't forget to click that. If you get out of this and you use this and you get something out of it and it saves you time or helps out someone, hey, help me out to support the show. I really appreciate it. Don't forget Instant House Call. That's an incredible value for you to be able to remotely support all of your clients, maybe family, friends, everybody. That's it. See everybody next week. Remember, the show live is going to be 6 p.m. Eastern Time on October 9th. Bye-bye, everybody.